Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened about 6 months ago while I was in county jail. This is a story regarding a female officer. So I feel very, very strongly that female officers should never be among male inmates, especially alone, and especially in overnight shifts. But due to understaffing, due to the fight for equality, whatever other reasons, the result today is that things have changed drastically from when I was in prison. 20 plus years ago, it wasn't like that. There was no such thing. But now, there are female officers. The unit I was in particular, that I did the most time in, didn't have many. So once in a while they'd come in, do a day shift, occasionally do a night shift overnight. And one of which I was friendly with. I'm respectful towards every officer, male, female, and you'll hear as I share more stories. I had some problems with a lot of them also. But this particular one was kind to me, and I was kind in return. So she's doing her rounds one night. They're required. This is another strange thing about jail now, at least the one I was in. So the last shift change, when the night shift comes on, they actually walk around and open every cell and enter the cell and ask if you're okay. Like, what the fuck is that? The question in itself is ridiculous. Of course I'm not okay. I'm in a fucking cage. You're holding me in, and you're asking me if I'm okay every night. But regardless, they do this, and this female officer had to do this on her own. So she's going around, and she passes my cell, goes to the next cell, and I hear some exchange of words, and she pushes the panic button. The extraction team comes in. They drag this guy out and throw him in lockup. So the next day, I find out what happened. And this is the cell right next to me. And this guy just got put in that cell. So as she entered the cell, this guy was watching her. And I'm not going to be graphic here. I'm disgusted by the things that people can do and people's behaviors. But this guy is basically being very inappropriate, timing it so as when the female officer comes by his unit, he's basically committing a crime, a sex crime, against this poor lady here, just trying to do her job. So he goes to lock up. A week later, I see this motherfucker come back into the same unit. So I go talk to the officer who's there, a different officer. I hadn't seen that other officer since, and ask him about it. Like, why the fuck would you guys let that guy come back to this unit when that other female does happen to come through here occasionally? Why are you not taking care of your own? And he basically explained to me, like, look, the guy went to lock, he caught a charge. That's it. That's the protocol. So I told him, well, look, I'm not bound by any protocol, and fuck you for not taking care of your own fucking people. We're on different sides, man. You're on that side, I'm on this side, and I gotta fucking cross the line and step up and take care of one of your own now. And he said, so what are you talking about? I said, what I'm talking about is this dude can't stay here. And that's it. And this is a cop that I'm comfortable with. I know for months already. And he didn't want me to get in trouble. I'm not asking him to get involved, but I just let him know ahead of time. This is what's going to happen. So I immediately made a decision. I went and talked to my bunkie about it, let him know in case, they lock me up, make sure I get my stuff, make sure all my stuff gets packed and sent down. He tries to convince me. He's like, yo, Hollywood, you're crazy, man. Don't get involved. You're going to go to lockup, fuck up your case, catch more time for a cop, for a CO, really, that doesn't give a fuck about you. And I said, it's not about that, man. I'm just not with that. I'm not going to allow that female to come back on this unit and have to see this motherfucker again. And forget about all that. I'm just not going to live in the unit and eat and have to look at this motherfucker's face. I'm not tolerating that, period. And so, in this case, amazingly, this motherfucker just heard that I was going to come talk to him, and volunteered on his own and checked out. And they came and fucking grabbed him and handcuffed him, bitched out like a motherfucker, and good for him. I'm so glad you did, because you saved me the trouble I was going to go through, and I was going to fucking hurt you very, very bad if we fought. And that's how that went. And surprisingly, a couple days later, I got a note sent to me, a message from other officers that I don't even know in intake, thanking me and saying that, they respect what I did for them and for her. And I actually bumped into her one day. I was walking down to intake to get some legal stuff that I had to do in person and sign for. And she happened to be walking in the hall, working the hall. And she came up to me and thanked me very much. She said, "I know what you did for me. It means so much to me. Thank you very much." And that was it. And the craziest thing about it was, I was still there for some time after that. The administration decided that that female was never to work in that unit that I was in again, because they were convinced something was going on between she and I. That there's no way in the world any inmate would involve himself to this degree, especially if it wasn't the case. So it's just mind-blowing again how disgusting people can behave, and how people can't help their own, and then how when someone else steps up and does something kind and right, I'm the fucking bad guy again. There has to be some ulterior motive. It can't just be kindness. Well, anyway, guys, that's the story. And to that officer, I did talk to her about it, and she said it's just part of the job. That had never happened to her before. And I said, there's no reason in the world, no job, no nothing, that you should ever have to endure or experience anything like that ever again in your life. That is horrible. And I'm very sorry that happened to you. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.